Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January the 4th. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis.
You're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abram and Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can find us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions for Dr. Shah or suggestions for future episodes, send us a text at 252-582-5028. You can also email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep this conversation alive by supporting the podcast, sharing it online, leaving us a good review on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Audible, anywhere that you get podcasts from. We're going to leave a link in the description so you guys can do that. We want to set you up for success, so hopefully you can set us up for success. Amen?
I really wish the camera had panned over to you while I was talking and you
I was doing
mouthing along with what I was
Well, if you had a switcher operator who knew what he was doing, who used a little bit of intuition.
Hey.
I just was joking.
Be nice.
Hey, shout out to my friend Nicholas in the back. He does a good job, man. I was just kidding. I was goofing. You want to read the verse of the day?
I think maybe you should read the verse of the day.
I think I need it.
Because you need the word of the Lord after being mean to Nicholas.
That's right. Psalm 62 and verse 7 says, "In God is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God."
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy because I think who we are and what we become in life, ultimately, even though I like to pretend that that's my doing, it's ultimately God. It's all in God's hand. You know, I can't achieve any honor for myself, or I can't achieve any accolades or any achievement in life without His blessing in my life.
Yeah, the achievement, everything is driving for us being better or getting more or being more successful. Mm-hmm. But really the way that we are successful, the way that we understand that as believers is by surrender.
Yeah.
It's by letting God lead, letting Him be our refuge, letting Him be our strength. And in that, like the Bible says, when we're weak, then we're strong because it's His strength, not ours.
That's right. Speaking of strength,
yes,
we got to unload. We got to take some time. This may be a little bit longer of an intro because we got to figure this out.
What are we figuring out?
I think you know. We've been talking about it.
Playing coy.
He's just playing coy for the radio. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. So, we've been going to the gym as a group collectively for a few years.
Yeah.
We're about that gym life.
Mm-hmm.
I have been going at night with Nicholas.
Yeah.
You guys typically go in the morning, you and David. That's fine. With the new baby, I have to start going in the mornings. I can no longer go at night because I need to be home with the baby and with Ellie and with the other baby. So I've been trying to get up at 6 o'clock and go in the morning. That's difficult for me. Mm-hmm. So I came up with a plan, an ingenious plan. I thought a very clever plan where everybody wins. I went to David, who's our engineer we really should have had a camera for this episode. And I said, "Hey, I have an idea. It's kind of a big ask, but let me know what you think of it. Why don't you come to my house in the mornings and just call me and say, 'Hey, I'm outside.' And then I'm not going to send you away, so I have to get up and we'll ride to the gym together."
Right.
He was like, "Yeah, no, I can do that," because the gym is 4 minutes from my house. 4 minutes. So I was like, this is great. So we did it, worked great. The first day, started talking about it at work. You, and I'm not going to mention who else, but a few other people went ballistic, saying that it was out of David's way, it was selfish, it was manipulative, it was that David was too afraid to say no to me, so he said that he would do it. Then I talked to David's mom about it. She didn't like that one bit.
Can I interject something very quickly, and then I'll let you.
Yeah, sure.
So,
and David, if you want to turn your mic on,
when this information was presented to me, it was not presented in this like, "Hey, David, I'm going to ask this of you," and it's kind of a big ask,
right?
But we'll work it out. And
right.
It's only 4 minutes away, and all that was not. It was not presented like that.
Okay.
It was, I can't get myself out of the bed, so I need someone to get me up.
I mean, that's essentially what it is.
Cry until they come pick me up so I can go to the gym.
Oh, look, Nicholas put a camera. That's cool, Nick. You got the camera on, David. Good job. All right, David, give me your because I'll say one more thing and then cut to David. I talked to David's mom because just to make sure I'm not crazy. She
also,
didn't like
that's
it.
where you made a critical error.
Yeah, I should not have done that. But then I called my mom, someone who I know is going to be on my side no matter what. She didn't like it.
Right.
So I threw my hands up and said, I'm done. I must be wrong. All right, David, go ahead.
I don't know where everything went wrong. Because I was like, this is a fun arrangement. Like, I'm going to the gym with my friend.
Right.
Getting up early. There's some motivation and some accountability for me so that, I have to be up at this time because I have to be at John's house at this time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this isn't a bad arrangement. And we're only going to do it, twice a week?
Thursday and Friday.
Tops. So I was all for it. And
none of that information was presented in the beginning of this discussion in the office. I think what it is people knew that you drove past the gym to come to my house and then had to drive back.
Which I'm fine
and then drive back to drop you off and then drive home.
And then drive home.
No, I'm not driving back home.
You come here to the church.
I come here to the church.
Just start the workday, sweaty, nasty. It is what it is. But I'm saying
that's not true either.
It is a little out of the way. The premise was never, it's not going to be out of the way. The premise was, are you cool with it? David was cool with it, but everyone else's opinion, including my own mother, was he's not really cool with it. He's just saying that he's cool with it.
Right.
So I need to know. So now everybody, it all calmed down. I was like, look, we're just not going to do it anymore. Then David and I talked and we were like, we're going to do it, but just keep it on the down low. Don't bring it up again.
Right.
So now
naturally we're going to talk about it on the radio.
Now I'm bringing it up on national radio and on iTunes because I want to know if ever you guys were going to text in your opinions, I need it to be today.
Please do it now.
I need it to be today. I need someone to be on my side with this because nobody is.
I am not on your side. It is a crazy thing to ask of someone, in my opinion. However,
hard disagree. 4 minutes out of the way.
However,
2 days a week.
However, if David is fine with it and you are fine with it, and there's sort of a mutual thing, like you're like, hey, I'll buy your gas, or so, like maybe we'll drive my car sometimes. Whatever. If there's kind of a mutual arrangement, then we'll do whatever you want to. That's fine. But that all of that rational argument was not presented in the initial discussion.
The underlying discussion, as I've heard it, is that David is not okay with it. He's scared of me, or he's intimidated by me. Hey, David, are you scared of me, bud?
No.
Well, I don't like that answer,
I'm not,
but it does help me.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I need the radio audience to text in. What's the number?
252-582-5028.
If ever you guys were going to text in, I need it to be now.
Please weigh in.
252, take John to the gym.
1-800-PICK John up.
Pick John up. It's 2 days a week. And also, I told him I would drive. You come to the house, wake me up, just make sure I'm out of the bed. I'm going to drive. So what it is people are going to be like, you are 30 years old. You should be able to get out of the bed. Let's see you get out of the bed and go to the gym 6 days a week at 6 in the morning. Let's see you do it. Oh, except for all the people who actually do it.
I was going to say, there are probably some people who do that.
It's fairly common, but I don't know, man. This has messed with me. This has really messed with my head because I was like, am I asking a lot? Am I out of line on this?
It's an unusual thing to ask. It's an unusual thing to ask of a person. But again, if David is fine with it and you guys kind of worked out a mutual system, whatever.
I'm looking at David on the camera and his face is like, we agreed that we wouldn't bring this up.
Yeah, I was really hoping that this would never get brought up again.
We'd never see the light of day, and now we're broadcasting
6.7 million listeners.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm 100% fine, not scared of you. And now I just feel like there's going to be so many people texting in, and I feel like you're going to
defend David. #free David.
And I feel like now it's going to be like, we need to defend this innocent
little boy.
And then
#free David.
And then also I think that you're going to get your feelings hurt.
You think people are going to rally against me?
I am not rally against you. I think that
your feelings are going to be
We'll
hurt.
See how this goes.
Not as many people will be on your side as you think.
Yeah, we're not just co-workers. We're pals. We're boys, and we're family. Sometimes we do things for one another. And if David was like, "Hey, could you come to my house and wake me up at 6?"
You would be
I'd
like,
say,
"No,
probably not." But
no, thank you very much.
I'll help in some other way.
I'll pray for you.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've got a great topic for you guys today. Great discussion. We're going to grab Dr. Shah in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about Abraham and Sarah. We've discussed them a little bit and how we can kind of trace God's faithfulness through their life. But we're going to talk specifically about the promise of Isaac and the laughter that ensued, where it's coming from Sarah, what that laughter looks like, and what it means. But if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, text us at 252-582-5028 or visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. We're going to get Dr. Shah, and we'll be right back.
If you haven't already, be sure to check out Dr. Shah's book, Changing the Goalpost of New Testament Textual Criticism. Before the 1960s, the goal of New Testament textual criticism was singular, to retrieve the original text of the New Testament. Since then, the goalpost has incrementally shifted away from the original text to retrieving any text or many texts of the New Testament. Some scholars have even concluded that the original text is hopelessly lost and cannot be retrieved with any confidence or accuracy. If that's the case, how can we claim that the Bible is inerrant? To answer these questions, make sure you order a copy of Dr. Shah's book. That title again is Changing the Goalpost of New Testament Textual Criticism. You can pick up your copy on Amazon right now and let us know how it's helped you by emailing us at info@clearviewbc.org. You can also support our ministry here at Clearview by visiting us at clearviewbc.org/give. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abram and Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, send us a text at 252-582-5028. Dr. Shah, welcome to the studio today. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Hope you guys are doing well.
Doing very well. This is Wednesday. It's Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Yeah, Hump Day, man.
The first Wednesday of 2023.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
First Wednesday.
A lot of firsts.
It's gonna go down in history as the greatest Wednesday ever because there's a lot of people listening right now who have never heard this show before. This is your first time ever listening to it. So if you're unfamiliar with Dr. Shah and his work, Dr. Abram Shah is a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, a professor at Carolina University, author, pastor, full-time pastor, host of today's show. The reason I laughed is because David gave me a suggestion yesterday to end it with author, pastor, and my best friend. And I was thinking of doing it, and then I cracked myself up before I could get it out.
And my best friend.
But if you guys want to follow his work, you can do so at his website. That's mybestfriend.com. No, I'm just kidding. It's abramandshah.com.
It's abramandshah.com. No, well, maybe not. So today we are talking about Abraham and Sarah. We talked about this last week on the show, which is really last year on the show. That's crazy to even say that out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
But we talked about Abraham and Sarah, and we've talked about their lives, especially as we were going through, the series Man of Promise in our Sunday sermons. Dr. Shah, you've been highlighting different instances in Abraham and Sarah's lives where we can trace God's faithfulness. And today we want to look at the account where God promised Sarah a child, and she has a very interesting response. She laughs.
Right.
She laughs. She gets that promise of a baby, which, it would be overjoyous or rejoicing. I don't know what the right word is.
Yeah,
there.
I think overjoyous is probably right.
Overjoicing.
Yeah.
And she
overjoicing
laughs.
is weird.
I know. I just made it up.
Oh, okay.
Overjoyed.
Overjoyed. Yeah, she's overjoyed. She's overjoyed and rejoicing. She's overjoying.
There you go. It works.
But she laughs. What is the source of the laughter? What's significant there?
But just like what we just did, I mean, there are reasons why people laugh. You laughed because you were trying to cover up a mistake. You could tell as the words were leaving your mouth, you could tell it's like, please get me out of this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But what did you do? You laughed to cover it up.
Yeah.
I laughed because I felt superior to you because
I know what words.
I know what words.
Get him, Dr. Shah. Get him.
But I am sitting in a position where I'm not have 15 things running through my head, like all the work I have to do, or Christmas is coming up, or how do I now navigate this show to get to pitch this softball, this really nice toss, so that he can hit it out of the park. So all this is going through your head. My head is clean, ready to go. And so I laughed at you.
Which is the natural response. Sure. And I think it's correct.
It's a laugh of superiority. I have no idea why John laughed. I mean, maybe he laughed because maybe superiority as well.
Maybe. I'm also just trying to stoke the chaos.
Yeah.
I feel like chaos is good for radio, so just keep it.
Oh, I got it. It's psychoanalytical.
I think so.
Oh.
It's a psychoanalytical reasons why he was laughing. Just crazy.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
By the way, very quickly, where am I going with this? Patricia Keats-Spiegel. She has been quoted often by different writers, comedy writers through the years, and she's like 83 some years of age now.
Wow.
But she was one of the first ones to give the reasons why we laugh. Okay. Now, other people have done studies on this as well, but she was the one who gave like really clear reasons, and most writers kind of go to her when it comes to, okay, so why are the reasons people laugh? And she gave 8, to be exact.
Wow, 8 different reasons?
8 different reasons. Well, first one is biological. That's just the way God has designed us. Now, I don't know if she says God or not, but it's just biological. Second is superiority, what I just shared with you. You know, I feel superior to you because you're fumbling over there. I feel great. So I'm laughing. Incongruity, which is uncommon mixtures of relations. So here, I'm a straight-laced person, right? But if I were to put on a clown suit or a clown nose, immediately it'll make you laugh. And like
these two things don't go together.
Don't go together. What's going on here? Now, if a clown were to walk in, kids will laugh, but the adults would just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
But for a person who typically doesn't do that, to put it on, maybe they will think he's creepy, and then they'll laugh.
Yeah.
And then there is ambivalence, or laughter that covers up our guilt or foolish errors, like you were laughing. Surprise, which is shock and unexpectedness. Release, which is a voluntary reduction of stress and tension. So we laugh in moments where you would go like, that's the last thing you want to do is laugh right now. But that's a way to release, or you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
And then configurational, which is we laugh when we understand how something works. Okay? So like I'm trying to pop this jar open and I can't do it because I'm going about it wrongly. And then my son comes around, or somebody else who knows how that jar or that instrument or whatever works, and they just boop, just like this, and then we laugh because it's like, oh, that's how it works,
right?
And then of course psychoanalytical. John, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, it's just kind of like the Joker, you know, like I'm just going to laugh just to, I think, just create some chaos, just sow seeds of discord.
Crazy.
Just be crazy, just chaotic evil type.
Sure.
No, I actually don't know what psychoanalytical
Well, I mean, that's
is.
pretty much, you know, it's like kind of a weird sort of way of why people laugh. You know. So the reason I share that is because today we're going to learn about how laughter was, you know, both how do I say this? Condemned in a way, you know, chastised, and then also encouraged.
Yeah.
In the life of Abram and Sarai, who became Abraham and Sarah.
Yeah. So there is this moment of laughter. There's actually several instances of laughter within that story, within them receiving the promise, and there's a different heart behind each one of them.
Yes.
There's a different approach that results in that laughter.
Right. And the first one, of course, is with Abraham himself, but he is still Abram at this point. Name change hasn't happened, but it's about to happen in Genesis 17, where God comes to see him, and he is 99 years of age, and God once again reaffirms his covenant with him and promises him that he will be a father of many nations, and gives him a name change. So he goes from Abram to Abraham. Now, Abram kind of meant someone of a noble birth. He's exalted as to his father, or the father is exalted. So Terah was kind of a royal person, right? And so Abraham is like his father, a royalty. But Abraham, when God changed that name and brought in that Ha, it became father of a multitude of nations. Now, let me just clarify. Etymologically, right, the meaning of the words Abraham is not father of a multitude of nations, it's simply father of a multitude. But then it's connected to another name of Hamon, which means father of a multitude of nations. The reason we cover these things is because we're just giving tools to believers, you know, Bible students and disciples, so that if somebody tomorrow says something to you like, that's not what it means, at least you know and say, well, wait, I've heard something about that before.
Right.
So you're not caught off guard. Our show is also in a sense apologetic.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think so. That was sort of the heart behind doing it, was to equip believers with mind and heart equipment, I guess. You know, it's
here we go again.
Yeah, I couldn't get it.
Make up a word.
It's to equip you not only with food for the heart, but for the mind as well.
Yeah.
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 Did you have the laughter of superiority?
I did. I had a chuckle of superiority.
Yeah, when someone fumbles a word, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was really like solidarity. Like, I'm not alone now.
Laughter of how it works.
Yep.
So the point is, the name has changed. And so Abraham is fine with that. God once again promises him that kings and nations will come from you. No problem. I go along with that. But then when in verse 15, God says to Abraham, as for Sarah, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. Sarai meant my princess. Sarah means the princess.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, Abraham, verse 17, fell on his face and laughed. What do you guys think? Why is he laughing?
I would say probably I don't know, maybe the incongruity of it. Maybe it's like I don't see these two things as being real at the same time. There's this how old is she at this point?
89.
She's 89, so he's like, yeah, this is someone who's supposed to be the princess, like the mother of nations, but she's 89 years old.
Disbelief.
It's not going to happen.
This doesn't even make any sense. This is
Right.
so absurd. It's humorous.
Right. That's why he laughs. And he fell on his face and laughed. So maybe he was bowing to God, or was he rolling over with laughter? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chuckling on the way down.
Yeah. And said in his heart, shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? I think he was laughing more about Sarah, because when God told him that, he's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
can do that. But when it says Sarah, he's like,
I don't know. How you going to work this one out, Lord? I don't see it
happen.
So that's a laughter of incongruity, as John said, but also, I would say laughter of unbelief.
Mm.
And then he even tried to help God out by saying, well, why not Ishmael?
Yeah.
Can we just bless Ishmael? Forget about Sarah.
I forgot Ishmael had already been born at this point.
Yeah. That's why he was okay with the father of many nations. He's thinking,
that makes sense.
I have a son here.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. But Sarah, why are you bringing her back into this?
Yeah.
It's a joke.
And I love the way that you continually brought it back in your messages. The covenant, the promise was to Abraham and Sarah. It was to both of them. It wasn't just one or the other.
Right.
It was them together as a couple, as God's chosen.
That's right. And for some reason, he just did not get it up until this point.
Wow.
And then, the laughter comes back again, but this time not Abraham, but it's Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Genesis 18, God comes to visit them in the heat of the day. He's actually headed to Sodom and Gomorrah. The sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, by the way, which has been, always will be, homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot alter that, folks. Cannot make it something other than it is.
Right.
And if you're working so hard to do that, maybe you need to step back and go, it's
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That is what it is.
Right? Occam's razor. Let's just stick with the simplest solution instead of making it so complicated.
Right.
So he's headed there, but he makes a detour. He makes a stop along the way by the terebinth trees, or the oak trees of Mamre, to Abraham and Sarah's settlement. And where is Abraham? What does the Bible say? He's sitting
at the tent door.
He's sitting at the tent door. Why is he not sitting inside? I don't know. Maybe it's too tense inside. Sarah is inside.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Stuff ain't happening the way I want it to happen, so I'm going to just
13
go
years.
chill outside. Yeah.
There's been tension in this home.
Yeah.
Ever since he went along with Sarah's plan to sleep with Hagar.
Yeah.
Now there's a child.
Now it's a little bit of tension, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just chill outside.
Yeah. I was gonna sit by the tent door. So it's got a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
But he's like almost like outdoors.
Yeah. Almost in the doghouse sort of thing.
And it's heat of the day, which means people are not out. I grew up in India where from 12:30 to about 4, you don't go outside.
Wow.
In the summertime is what I'm talking about. May, June, don't.
That was like
outside.
a culturally understood thing. You just don't go outside in that heat.
Yeah.
Wow.
People just knew.
Wow.
And and if you had to go, you better put some hat on, put an onion in your pocket.
An onion in your pocket?
Onion in your pocket.
Put an onion in your pocket to combat the heat?
Yeah. No, it's like it's an old wives' tale, I guess, but it keeps you safe.
Did you walk around? Did you have a? Did you walk around with that? You did?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Until I became a teenager, and I was like, I'm not taking this with me.
So wait, you would go to walk outside, and they'd be like, make sure you take your onion.
Yeah,
you just put it in your pocket.
Put it in the pocket.
Did your pants stink?
But it was not onion cut open.
Oh, it's just a whole onion.
Whole onion.
Okay.
So you just walk around with in your pocket, and they say that it protects you from the sun.
Wow.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It is.
What's that the incongruity? Like there's an onion here and then there's sunscreen over here, but I'm going to take the onion and put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny, but
yeah.
So he's sitting there. Nobody's supposed to be out. So these people are not ordinary human beings. Mm-hmm. And later on we find out 2 of them are angels and one is the Lord. Mm-hmm. And I would say the pre-incarnate Jesus.
Right. Wow.
And they come, and Abraham immediately recognizes something is up, so he rushes. He's rushing. How old is he?
He's 100 at this point?
Yeah, 99.
99?
He's rushing everywhere, which means he knows something is happening. Mm-hmm. The wheels are turning. God is doing something. And, and that's something I want to stop there for a moment, even though we're talking about laughter. I think this connects with laughter. When there's hope in your heart, mm-hmm. you cannot help but laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You cannot but help have a spring in your step.
Yeah.
If you're struggling today, if you're just down, it's because you've lost hope. Lost hope about a relationship with your family member, lost hope because of some situation that took place that you cannot undo or cannot be undone. And it leaves us with hopelessness. And I want to say it as clearly as possible. Hopelessness comes from the enemy. Mm-hmm. And he wants you to believe that there is no better day coming. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Endure through life. Just get through it. This is all there is to it. And when you have that, of course, you're going to move slower. Mm-hmm. But in Abraham's case, seeing those 3, even though they're not directly coming for him, they're headed to Sodom and Gomorrah, but their detour brings hope in his heart, and he is moving fast. I mean, he is running here, running there, telling Sarah, bake some cakes, and telling the young man in the house, get a lamb, quickly slaughter it, quickly cook it, quickly put it in places it in front of the people, and they sit under a tree because it's cooler there. And he doesn't sit down and say, all right, let's eat. No, he's just standing very expectantly to what's about to be said. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the angels ask the question, where is Sarah, your wife? And he says, here in the tent. And again, it tells us they were old. This is Genesis 18:11, well advanced in age. And Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. And then Sarah laughed. She laughs. But this time, it's a laughter, I would say, more of ambivalence in the sense that she's covering up her guilt, because when God confronts her and says, why did you laugh? Oh, I didn't laugh.
Yeah.
Wait, who are you trying to
fool? That's a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was laughing because too much had happened in this home. Yeah. Too many bad things had happened, and she had made some bad decisions. And so her laughter is more a laughter of cynicism and pessimism.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of a bitterness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She laughs, but it's not because she's joyous or there's no happiness behind that.
Yeah, it's almost mocking.
Yeah.
I mean, Abraham laughed earlier, but it was more of unbelief. Her laughter is more of just, she is angry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And God confronts her, and she rejects it. But then the third laughter comes. This is very important. In Genesis 21, when the Lord visited Sarah, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken, and she bore a son. And it says in verse 6, this is Genesis 21:6, and Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. She also said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children, for I have borne him a son in his old age. I mean, this is a different laughter. It's a laughter, of course, of incongruity, but also of surprise and shock and release and configuration, which is, this is how it works.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, I want to point out something very quickly. The word for laughter in Hebrew is yitzchak. Mm-hmm. And when God told them to name their newborn son, it was going to be Yitzchak, Isaac.
Yeah. Wow.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I love that. And especially what you pointed out in verse 6, and Sarah said, God has made me laugh. Like God has given that laughter to me. In a sense, like she's talking about her ability to laugh and her joy, but also laughter is the name of my son.
Yep.
He laughs.
Yep.
It's Isaac.
Yep.
That's so beautiful.
And God does that for us. He takes our messes and turns them into blessings. So what was a mess, laughters of unbelief and incongruity and surprise and all that, now becomes a child. So every time they call him, it reminds them of God's faithfulness.
That's beautiful.
That is awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed today's episode or you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, send us a text at 252-582-5028. You can also visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, and you can support us financially in the same place. We really want to encourage you to partner with us, especially at the start of the new year. Make this the year of generosity, the year of giving, the year of obedience to the life that God has called you to, partnering with us to reach the nations with the gospel of Jesus Christ. John, this question actually was submitted for you today.
Okay.
It was submitted by another John D.
Oh.
And he wants to know, what is your favorite worship song?
Well, I mean, it changes so often. Right now, Hallelujah for the Cross. Chris
Really?
McClarney, yes.
Okay.
I love Hallelujah
Great
for the
song.
Cross. I'm not going to lie, we really sing it a lot at Clearview.
Great song.
But, I mean, I think anything cross-centered is going to be strong. That's strong worship. And I don't know, Hallelujah for the Cross just gets me.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
That's
Maybe we can maybe spend another episode and just kind of talk about why that song is so great. But
Yeah,
for now,
that's
that's 100%. That's my favorite.
Absolutely. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.